NHL best bets for Thursday, March the 5th. Guys, welcome to PuckTime, WagerTalk TV. Myself, Andrew McInnis, Carmine Bianco, Lawrence Pressman. We got a big slate to break down. As mentioned on yesterday's show, we'll do a little bit of a Q&A at the end of the show. We got a handful of games to break down. Carmine will tell you guys what those games are. As far as yesterday, first good day for me, a 1-1 day. We did hit the bigger play, though, so that was nice to have. Shout out to Vancouver, doing what they do, being bad, giving up goals. Carmine, I was very happy to finally, better late than never, to hop on the bandwagon and just start fading this Canucks team. Carolina, -1.5, rare puck line play for me. And then I had the Islanders and Ducks game over 6.5, and I'll tell you, 3-1, with like 25 minutes into the game, it looked pretty good, but you and I always talk about it. The dreaded 4-1 score line is never really a good thing for us, so that one goes under. 1-1 night for me. We move on to today, and it's a big 5% play going tonight in the NHL. Carm, good morning, brother. How are you?
All right, you got one locked and loaded. That's good to hear. 1-1, 4% winner, 3% loser. The Seattle Kraken ran into a hot goalie. Hofer was good last night. The XG numbers on all the numbers were at the end of the game were in the Seattle Kraken's favor, other than the 3-2 scoreline. 374 to 297 XG in that one. Scoring chances 28 to 21. High danger chances were theirs as well too. Shots on goal, not normally a huge metric, but still 36 to 27. They had 10 or more shots on goal in each and every period. But Hofer was good in that one, and they got the job done. I think Seattle plays better with a lead than they do from behind. And St. Louis just went out there with that attitude of, we know some guys are leaving. We know they're going to go. We're just going to play. It's kind of like those last 10 or 15 games of the year where teams just play the spoiler role and just love to do it.
Right.
They're padding their stats. So Robert Thomas picked up another goal. Good to see him scoring since he's come back. And he'll likely get moved today or tomorrow, as will Parenko, who is going to be going to the Sabres. Andrew, let me tell you, before we bring in the Prez, the Sabres defense with Parenko coming in, their average for the Sabres defense is 6'3", 6'3.5", 217.5 pounds. They don't have a single guy under 200. They don't have a single guy under 6 feet. They are going to have 6 defensemen who are big, who can play. And those are the type of defensemen you want in the playoffs, because they are going to work you on the boards. They are going to tire you out. And in a game and in a series, you want 6 big defensemen. So kudos to the Sabres on pulling this one off. I think the deal still needs to be finalized, but it looks like...
what's the deal with that, Carm? It's so weird.
Everything's getting...
But why are they not getting permission from the players before these? I watched a segment with Elliot Friedman, and he said that there's some agents that are really pissed off right now because these deals are being tweeted out by, Darren Dreger and other experts before the player signs off on it. Because all of these good players, they have no trade clauses, right? So they get to decide. So if this guy doesn't want to live in Buffalo, then he can say, I don't want to live in Buffalo, and he can say no to the deal.
Come on, man. Best wings in town. Speaking of wings, this guy has, man, I saw some pictures of Whistler in BC. The fresh snow that they have, you got to bring in the Prez. They had like 20, I don't know if it was 20 centimeters, 20 inches, what it was. But man, he must be enjoying life, because anyone who skis, and I'm not a skier, but fresh snow has to be the best snow. Prez, welcome to the show.
What's up, Prez?
Hey, boys. It's been great. Snow was outstanding yesterday. Sent you some videos of me skiing. I'm not really putting that up on Twitter much, but the raccoon face is starting because you wear goggles all day. That's what we call it. Us skiers, the raccoon face. Anyway, I have absolutely zero issue with making a trade. And then if the guy with no trade clause wants to insult the city he was traded to, go right ahead. And if he wants to insult the city he was at, go right ahead. But what other leverage does a GM have? Why should the GM ask the player first?
No, that's
this
how it
is-
goes. I'm
this
saying that
is
it just shouldn't go
business.
public. I'm saying it just
Why?
shouldn't
Yeah.
go public.
Why?
That's,
This is business, and you got to do the best thing. The players owe the GM nothing. The GM owes the players nothing. The fans owe the
I'll
players
tell you why.
nothing.
I'll tell you why. Because if he says no to Buffalo, then all of a sudden things get really awkward and they have no choice but to trade him, and other teams have leverage. Because if he says no,
They
then
don't
they're
want him
like,
on
"Oh,
the team.
shit."
They don't want him. They want to trade him.
But that's the
Yeah.
but that's the whole
Sounds
thing
like-
of the trade clauses, and that's why players have them, and it's part of the contract. This started back in the day of Brian Burke. He is the one who put the no trade clauses into a contract, and it snowballed from there. Nobody thought it would, but Brian Burke was the first one to do it with the players, giving them the option of a no trade clause, and it just ballooned from there. It's part of the game. So I agree with Prez in the sense of who cares whether the player wants to go there or not. The GM is going to come out because the GM still has a fan base that supports his team, that he needs to let them know, I'm trying to make our team better, but this player refuses to leave as well.
Yeah, but also
I know. I'm just saying he'll get more leverage. Yeah.
It could also backfire. Mitch Marner could say, hey, you don't want me, I'm going to Vegas.
Right. I'll tell you one thing interesting, though, this time of year, too, guys. Bobby McMahon for the Toronto Maple Leafs. One thing I was reading was that it's important for the team to still act like they're interested in signing the player to a contract extension, because if you don't do that, then you wreak desperation and teams will lowball offer you. So it's kind of interesting business-wise for that. If you don't act at all like you're going to do it yourself, then teams, if they know you're desperate to move a player, which some teams are desperate, and that's the best thing, Carm, we were talking yesterday about Robert Thomas, right, is that he's their number one center. Like, he's an unbelievable player on a great contract in his prime. If nobody gives them an offer that's going to knock their socks off, they're not going to take it.
They're asking for too much anyways. The great thing about the Buffalo and the Buffalo St. Louis one is it started with Robert Thomas and ended with Parenko, which I think is a better fit for the Sabres, because they wanted from the Sabres Owen Power. They wanted a first-round draft pick, and then they wanted another player as well too. I think it's too much to give just because you're getting into the playoffs for the first time in like 14 plus years and you're excited. Don't blow your load in the first round or in 1 year. With that said, Prez, Tampa Bay Lightning and Winnipeg Jets. Tampa's a huge favorite here, minus 184. Winnipeg plus 150. Total sits here at 6. This Tampa team, all season long, they've been consistent. At one point, I think they won 20 of 21 games, but they've only lost 3 in a row, 3 prior times, or 3 times prior to this 3-game losing streak that they're on. And they've only lost 4 games twice all season long. To me, good teams are teams that don't lose multiple games, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Tampa doesn't seem like one of those teams. How are you breaking this one down?
Well, I mean, and not only has Tampa lost 3 in a row, they put up 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals altogether in their last 2 games, and one of those losses was to Buffalo. But Carm, we've seen this story play out before, where if you go back and look at Stanley Cup champs or top teams, President's Trophy winners, they do go through periods where they lose 4 or 5 games in a row. I would not bet against Winnipeg right now. I was on Winnipeg a few nights ago as a 4% winner. They got it done in overtime with a dramatic end of the game empty net goal. That was against Chicago. Man, I think Winnipeg is the way to go here, plus 150. And I also like the under, Carm. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game, and you guys can get 6 out there. And understand that Tampa Bay has allowed 5, 6, and 5 in their last 3. I think with Tampa Bay needing to prevent a 4-game losing streak, I think they're going to really focus on defense. And this Tampa Bay team has been outstanding defensively all year, so it's not like they can't play to the under. And Winnipeg wants to play to the under. They allowed 2 goals against Chicago, 2 against San Jose. This team regularly allows 1 or 2 goals. So my favorite play is the under, but I got no issue taking Winnipeg at plus 150. I also do want to mention that I lost my 5% play last night on the same Seattle Kraken that you had. That was one of my very big money line plays that almost never lose. That was only my second loss in 2 seasons with that play. We walked into a hot goalie. So if any of you guys did buy that play and you're listening to the show, my apologies. We had it right. We just couldn't get it done. So that's where I'm at, Carm. Winnipeg plus 150 and the under 3-2 Winnipeg.
Prez, I want to ask you, when you've got this time of year, you've got teams that it's pretty clear they're not making the playoffs, teams that are relatively clear they are going to make the playoffs, but doesn't mean we can't make money betting on them. You like Winnipeg today. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what's kind of your picture of this Winnipeg team for the rest of the season? They still have talent. They still have Hellebuck. How do we approach them for the rest of this? Could they be a team that doesn't make the playoffs, but actually still makes us money with betting? Or how do you kind of frame this team?
Great question. And the answer is yes. This is a team that I have been betting on for the last week. And this is a team I look to be betting on moving forward. Man, this is a loaded hockey team that the season just got away. Connor got injured. They went through a stretch of 13 games or so where they couldn't win a thing. It just was one of those got away years. And I think this is a proud team and a team that's going to play all the way through, and a deep team, right? So it's not like, the top 2 guys are upset they didn't make the playoffs and are going to call it a year. I mean, everybody on this team can score. Everybody on this team back checks and forward checks. It's a well-coached team. It's got great goaltending. I'm looking for this team to make a run. I think they're going to end up being a couple of points short. They really needed to beat San Jose and Anaheim in regulation. Those 2 points are going to be the difference. But they are going to be a real good bet on team moving forward.
It's tough because, as you mentioned, it's not one of those things where the season started well for them and then something happened and they just went downhill. Right from the get-go, they just weren't playing well. Yeah. And it sort of snowballed. You also had Hellebuck, who missed quite a few games for a while. So when you're missing your number one, it's always tough. Yeah. You can have Eric Comrie in there and he can do well. The problem is that Comrie's not a goalie who's supposed to start 5, 6, 7 games in a row. At most, you want him a couple of games in a row, and that's only to give a guy like Hellebuck a rest if he's played 5 or 6 in a row himself. So from that point, Josh Morrissey's still out for Winnipeg, so that obviously hurts as well too. It's a tough one. I get where you're coming from with Winnipeg and being a live dog. I just think at this point in the season, for them, I just don't know what they have left. I think they're too far behind.
Yeah, I agree.
11 or 12 points.
9.
That they're playing with desperation each and every night. I just don't see it. But
we got to pick our spots, right? I did not release Winnipeg tonight. It didn't make a play tonight, but I mean, guess who's up next? Vancouver.
Yeah.
Right.
And after that is Anaheim and the Rangers. They win tonight. They could put 4 straight together. They're only 9 back. Yeah, I'm with you, Carm. I don't think this team's going to make the playoffs, but I think this team is a bet on team moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, they say, those are 2 different things. A team that is going to make the playoffs or can make the playoffs, and a team who you can bet on to make money, 2 completely different things. Yeah. Because, I've talked about one of the toughest things is trying to even make up 8 or 9 points from the December mark forward. You have to be a very good team or go on an insane run.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Sabres from December the 15th or whatever went on an insane run. The most points in the NHL.
And they're
yet,
still on it.
And yet,
Right.
and they're still on it. Yet, this is a team that, while they're sitting second in the Atlantic, could easily fall to fourth in the Atlantic.
Well, it's
if
very.
the Red Wings win a couple games, if Montreal wins a couple games,
dude,
and they can end up in a wild card spot.
It's all because of overtime. The Leafs are above 500. They're one of the worst teams in the league. So,
well, guys, I put this this tweet in our group chat yesterday with all of us. Not a single Pacific Division team would be in a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Not one single team in that division would even be in a spot.
Right.
So it's incredible to look at, because the term playoff team, it's kind of like, Prez, I know you do a lot of college basketball as well. It's like the whole ranking system. We don't care about rankings. We care about the point spread. We care about the betting numbers, the lines, right? And I feel like playoff position sometimes can skew people's mindset of how they actually see a team, because it's, for me, guys, when I was younger, the West was always way better than the East. And although Colorado and Dallas are in the West, for the most part, it's fair to say the East is a better conference than the West this year.
It is on an average, not top heavy, right? So
at the end of the day, I'm going to revert back to what I said earlier. At the end of the day, the regular season is just a prelude to the playoffs. The teams are in a 7-game series. The Sabres can beat, and I'm a Sabres fan, the Sabres can beat Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay, score 4 goals in the first period. But in a 7-game series against Tampa Bay, they're going to be decided underdogs if they play them in a 7-game series. And why? Because Tampa has the experience. Tampa has the goaltending. Tampa has the team. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It is why we just wait for the playoffs to get here and then go from there, because it's a completely different beast. Prez, it's 1 game. That's all it is. What do you got to promote, man? Because you are on an insane, insane run.
Listen, I lost my 5% last night. I ended up 3-1 for my clients. Listen to what is going on with me and my clients right now. In all my bets, I'm on a 6-1 and 16-6 run. 32 wins, 16 losses, over 40 units of profit since mid-February. I'm on a 4-1, 8-2, and 14-5 NHL run. My NHL totals, I have a total tonight, 13-4 run. I've won 6 straight. My NBA, 11-4 run. My NBA ATS bets, 9-1, 16-4 run. My college basketball, 6-1 run. It's like I'm a walking mic drop.
Let's go. People were asking about Prez's energy in the live chat, and that was a little bit of the Prez that we know. That was the Prez that we know.
The energy is so good that I know you have an extra 5 minutes in you.
No, I got to run.
What?
I got a show to take, but go ahead. Right. What?
Well, Andrew and I are going to talk about the Buffalo Sabres and the Pittsburgh Penguins next. But before you leave, let me ask you a question. Is this game, but is that not a fishy line right now? 110 both ways?
He doesn't want to talk to me, Prez.
I don't know. I don't. Carm, I got to tell you, man, I don't know what fishy lines look like. I mean, I'm sure I know what they smell like, but I don't understand that whole concept. Like, to me, I look at the board, a bet jumps out or it doesn't jump out. I look at that game and I think no. So if I think I can't find a bet, then the line doesn't look fishy.
I'm guessing it smells something like gefilte fish, but with that said, man,
that's a horrible smell. Guys, if you want to, I have a 1 day left of a buy one get one promo. It's $79. You buy a week of my NHL, you get a week of my NBA for free. A lot of people took advantage of that on Monday. They are all up a shit ton of money. That's 1 more day. So buy my NHL for 7 days, get my NBA for free. Really appreciate doing this, being here. I will see you guys next week. If anybody's in Whistler, I'll be on the slopes in an hour.
Have fun,
All right,
Prez. Stay
Prez,
safe.
great having you. And if you can just pass on a message to Joe Reneri, because you're filming with him shortly, tell him I wish him the best of luck with the Florida Panthers in this year's playoffs. All right.
You got
Thanks,
nothing
man.
to say, dude. They're literally the champions. Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that
See you,
was
brother.
yesterday. Let's talk
Bye,
about
guys.
All right. And you know I got to get the pow in there because Joe kept all of last season's playoffs. Joe kept tagging me in tweets. He doesn't reply to anything, but he kept tagging me in tweets as Florida rolled to another Stanley Cup win or whatever. So I got to give it to him a little bit, you know.
I respect it, but it's also a little bit bothersome, I think, for people like us that watch hockey every single night, because when you see Florida fan, that's what people don't understand, is that I want the game of hockey to grow. Like, I'm excited by other fans getting to experience wins and stuff. But I feel like people don't understand. Like, if the Montreal Canadiens or Toronto Maple Leafs or even your Buffalo Sabres or the Edmonton Oilers, if they won the Stanley Cup, it would be the craziest parade. If you thought the Toronto Raptors parade was crazy, like, the parade would be insane for those teams. And, you know, I respect it, though. Joe is rocking the Team USA jersey and stuff. He gets into it. But, Carm, let's just put it this way.
Joe,
I'm with you.
Joe,
I like that line.
Sorry. Okay. I'll get to it in a second because I'll finish the Joe thing before we actually do a clip for this game. Joe and I, we go out every once in a while because he's a New York Jets fan. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. So we just poke fun at each other as many chances as we can get during football season, and it bleeds over into hockey season as well too, Andrew. So that's the thing with Joe Reneri and I. He is one cool dude. So nothing better than, you want to talk about trolls, guys? Joe's the best. Andrew, we're at the Superbook at Westgate during March Madness, and WagerTalk's having the meet and greet. And I'm standing there with Joe. We're right by the clubhouse window there, room where we have like the food and drinks. And Joe told everyone to bet on one game, but all the guys were on the opposite side. So the game's on, and Joe's team is absolutely blowing them out in March Madness. And these guys are coming into the room to grab a drink, and Joe wouldn't even let them through the door. He's trolling them as they grab a drink and food, and as they leave. He is just trolling them. Hey, guys, I'm not sure if you can see that score up there, but your team's down 32 points. It was just the funniest thing. So God bless Joe Reneri and he trolls the right way.
Honestly, my favorite Joe Reneri memory was when he was there with his wife or girlfriend, and he was trying to watch some sports and bet on some sports. So he's just like, here's some money for the slots. Go have fun on the slots. Go win something.
The dude. Okay, just
like,
one more quick note. The dude, we go to Aria because we're all going to grab a bite to eat or something like that with some of the WagerTalk staff. And Joe makes me sit down with him at a slot machine. I think it was like the Price is Right or whatever it was. Like 800 US later that I popped into the machine, and he put like 1,600 bucks. I think, you know what we ended up with? I think 37 cents on that voucher.
Oh boy.
That's pretty much it, man. This is why slots are for suckers. Anyways.
Slots are tough. But Carm, I wanted to just say that
sucker bets.
When it comes to talking about fishy lines and stuff, I just think that when you look at a game and you know, there's two things that make me think of Dave Koken. It's the coach getting fired, and it's the fishy lines. Because I remember Dave, you remember he used to have the glasses, and he would like look at the glass like this, and he would say, "This line stinks. It doesn't make any sense." That's what he would say. This line stinks, and he would look at it, and he would always tell us, if a line doesn't make any sense, you back that team it doesn't make much sense on. And so let's look at it here. The Buffalo Sabres minus 115, Penguins minus 105, total at 6.5. Here's the deal, Carm. We've got a Penguins team that's overachieving a bit for sure, playing good hockey, good offensive play. But as a Sabres fan, you know as well as I do, this Buffalo team has been fantastic for months, not just a couple weeks, not for 1 month. They've been on a roll for a long, long, long time. Even though they're on the road, you would think, looking at this number, looking at this game, the Sabres should be getting more respect. So here's something for everybody watching. Some people are going to look at this and say, oh my God, I can get the Sabres at just minus 115. But what you should be thinking is, I would respect this line more if it was minus 130. We sometimes think we know more than the books, but you also have to respect the books. And looking at this minus 115, they're hanging an indicator of like, hey, you want to take the Sabres? Look at this number we're going to give you. So, Carm, when I look at these, when I look at my advanced metrics, I like to look at last 5 games for goalies or for teams. And the cool thing about this game is that both of these teams are top 4 or top 5 in both goals against and goals for. That means overs for me. Goals, because sometimes a team can be top 5 in goals against, but they're not scoring either. I like the over team total for the Pittsburgh Penguins plus 125. And the cool thing is for the Sabres, their over 3.5 is plus 120. I think you pick which team you like. You take their team total, you get a nice plus price. Some people might say it's greedy because we're getting 105 or 115. The way I look at it, whoever wins this game is scoring at least 4 goals. Do you agree, Mr. CB? What do you think?
I agree. I think we see some goals in it. It should be Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in goal for the Sabres tonight, even though Alex Lyon has been much better, and I'm pretty certain that even though Stuart Skinner was listed as the expected goalie, that it's going to be Shilov's in goal tonight. They'll probably be confirming that one because I think he was first off the ice at the morning skate this morning, and he's been very good his last few games as well too. And it's a guy who's got a goals against average under 3 at 2.75 and save percentage right at 0.900. So from that aspect of it, I think it bodes well. It's better for the Pens in this one. The Pens have beaten the Sabres twice this season in 2 prior meetings, and there were both 2 or 3 goal victories in that one. They beat them the very last game in Buffalo prior to the Olympic break, where they went in there and I think they beat the Sabres 5-2. This just seems to me like the flat spot for the Sabres, playing so well out of the break, beat Florida, beat Tampa in the Sunshine State, come up with another win. I don't know what it is. This one is kind of screaming flat spot for me, and I'm a Sabres fan. So for me to say it screams of a flat spot, it really does. To me, so we shall see. But I wouldn't lay 115 with the Sabres in this one. I think it's for me, it's either Pittsburgh or nothing tonight in this game, Andrew. And the total 6.5. If it was a 6, I'd be on the over. But at 6.5, I think this game is ultimately going to be a complete pass with me with a lean. If you're asking me, I'm going to use the phrase I used to use last year. With a gun to my head, I'd probably take the Pittsburgh Penguins.
All right. Well, so if it was your last thing you ever had to bet on, that's what you would do. But it doesn't sound like you're getting to the window.
I do not like guns to my head anyways, because
yes,
it can only end one way, and it's never a good way. So
hopefully it ends with a winner.
Listen, I'd love nothing better than the Sabres to win tonight and continue on a good run that they've been doing. Some of my friends and chatting with them yesterday on WhatsApp, and they're like, Sabres 22-1 to win the cup. I'm like, don't waste your money, right? It's a Cinderella story, but for me, I'm just ecstatic that they're finally going to make the playoffs after 14 years. Whatever happens to them in the first round is what happens to them in the first round. We'll talk about that come playoff season. But right now, it's just enjoy the ride, and then we'll see what happens. I went through it with the Bills, who were like 1-15 for the longest times, and then went to 4 Super Bowls. I went to watch the first one, Scott Norwood, wide right. I never went to watch another Super Bowl. and then they didn't make the playoffs for the longest time, and Josh Allen came back, and they still can't win. So whatever.
Carm, before we
I'm
get to the
just all
next
over the
game
place.
here,
Yeah, man.
just want to bring up the package that we've been talking about quite a bit on the show. It's a fantastic one. You've been on an absolute roll with multiple sports. I'm so jealous of you cashing soccer tickets during the day. You've got hockey at night, of course. But this buy 3, get 3 free, 6 days, $69. I got a 5% play going tonight in the NHL. And I'll tell you, it is not going to be the only play that I have tonight. I'm going to have more than just the 5% play. Prez talked about it. What did he say, Carm? He went 3-1 yesterday, but he lost the 5%. So I'm going to be completely straight up with all of the people listening right now. Imagine being one of those people that bought the 5% play, but you didn't have the other 3 plays. That's a bad feeling, right? And so I'm not trying to pitch it because realistically, it's better for us if people buy every single day, but you buy 3, get 3 free, 6 days. Personally, for me, I want you guys to get a sample size and get all of the plays that I'm on. So 5% play goes tonight, but I would much prefer you guys to jump in on the buy 3, get 3, 6 days, $69, WT.buzz/AM, Carmine, WT.buzz/CB. And it's just the way to go, Carm, versus daily picks.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great deal. If you're going to pay $35 for a 5% play, it's literally $34 more, and you're getting 5 additional days. And that's if there's only one play on that day with the 5% play. So I think it's a great deal. Judge someone over at least over a 6-day schedule of games. And there's a lot going on right now, especially with the NHL. There are no 2-game nights anymore. They need to get these games in, and so there's going to be a ton of action there as well too. A quick note too, I want to mention Don Buster, who was on earlier this week. He has a 5% play up as well too in the NHL. You can find that over on his page at wt.buzz/DB. So you can find it there. He'd be on today's show, but I think he's manning the avocado farm down in Mexico. But let's give the guy some love, man. Don Buster, good luck with your play if you're watching this show. And if you are, you better be hitting that like button. Andrew, we talked about, or you talked at the beginning of the show about the New York Islanders last night. Riddick in goal. The Ducks, thank you, Ducks, for bouncing back in that one. 4-1 winners, but now you have the Islanders at plus money against the LA Kings with their number 1 goalie in goal. Sorokin is the starter tonight in this one, Andrew. Minus 140 for the Kings, plus 115 for New York. 5.5 is the total. Where are you going with this one?
Carm, I'll be honest, I don't have a lot on this game, but I think it's a very interesting one for us to talk about. I think that, first of all, there's been a lot of back-to-backs this week. A lot of teams playing on back-to-backs throughout the week, especially those East Coast, West Coast trips. As mentioned yesterday, I always find it interesting when you've got a team that decides to have their number 1 goaltender play the second game, as you just talked about. So it could set up for them to get some good goaltending tonight and good defensive game. So a lot of times the second half of back-to-back, it obviously makes me lean towards overs. Earlier in the week, I had that with the Dallas game, and I think that you like those back-to-backs. But there's certain situations where a back-to-back can actually like the under. And I think that New York will not be happy with how they let Anaheim just swarm all over them. And Anaheim made it look easy against the New York Islanders last night, guys. So I have a small lean towards the under 5.5 in this game. The books are respecting the LA Kings here, for a team that struggled quite a bit. And something worth noting, Carm, they lost their first game after firing their coach, but their first game after firing their coach was against the Colorado Avalanche. Who's to say this team isn't going to get a little bit of a spark still after they fired their coach? And who's to say that maybe it was just tough luck for them that they fired their coach and then their next game was against the top dog in the whole entire league? So who knows? You know what could be a play here? And it's unfortunate because these lines come out so late, because I liked the Anthony Stolarz one yesterday, but I never saw the line in time. I think that you could look at Sorokin over on his saves. Maybe we'll see LA really press tonight, throw everything at the net, but Sorokin is a better goaltender than David Rittich. So maybe the save prop for Sorokin could be a good idea. But Carm, what do you think? I kind of lean towards the under, lean towards kind of the save prop for Sorokin. Should be a good game, though.
I think it will be a good game. I will say this. I did yesterday bet because I was playing some futures last night, and I did bet on the LA Kings because I got the price I wanted to. The LA Kings to make the playoffs. I found a plus 120 out there. It's at plus 110, plus 105 at different books, but I found a plus 120 and I took them. And before I get to this game, I'll just mention why I took them. I get it. The Fiala one is out. We'll see if they make a move to add anybody over the next couple of days. But 22 games left, 11 at home, 11 away. They play Vancouver 3 times. They play the Calgary Flames twice. They play Nashville twice. Both of them are in LA. They play St. Louis and the Rangers. Those are all bottom 5 teams with the exception of Nashville. And Nashville doesn't win as many games on the road. So a favorable schedule for the LA Kings. Especially at home, and they have one East Coast trip left where they're going to face teams like New Jersey. They're going to face teams like the New York Rangers, teams that are done for the season, and the Kings are playing for a lot more. They're only about 5 points out of a playoff spot. They have, with a game in hand, they have a chance to make the playoffs, even with the Fiala injury. So with that said, in this game, Andrew, it didn't make sense to me. I thought the goalie should have been reversed. I would have started Sorokin, but I'm not a coach, of course. I would have started Sorokin yesterday against a team that could score goals, and you want your best goalie in there, and put Riddick in goal against a team like the Kings, who normally their games are lower scoring games, hence the total 5.5. Yesterday's total was at 6.5, so or 6 or 6.5. So with that said, I would probably would have flipped it the other way, but we've seen number one starters playing in the second game for some reason this season. With that said, I get it. The Islanders look like a live dog here, but I'm taking the Kings at minus 140 here. I was on a second of a back-to-back, and I have to believe that Kings with a little bit of rest are the right spot tonight.
Yeah, I don't blame you, and I think that one thing again to mention is just that goalie. I mean, tell me if I'm crazy, Carm. I do care a lot about the coaching fired stuff, and we saw it with Columbus. And again, I do think that it's one of those things that, despite losing to Colorado, I think LA still played pretty well. Would you agree? I mean, I watched a good portion of that game. I try to watch a little bit of every big game. I thought they still looked respectable, even though they didn't win the game.
Yeah, no, listen, I think they did. It's unfortunate who they played, but if there's one positive that the Kings have and I think the best thing in my eyes that the GM can do for the LA Kings is to go out and grab a player or two that doesn't cripple you next year. But the salary cap is going up next year as well, too, in the NHL. So that's another thing to look at. But if they can pick up a player or two, I think it sends a message in that dressing room that, yeah, we lost Fiala, but you know what? We have guys in this dressing room that can play, guys in this dressing room that can compete and that can win. And we're going to give you a couple more pieces. Go out there and win the games. And then look at that schedule. And it's a favorable schedule for them. You look at the schedule, pull it up, you look at the LA Kings, and you go through their games, and it is a good schedule for them. On the road, they have 11 games left. 8 of those 11 games are against teams who are not in a playoff spot at the moment, and normally sitting bottom 5. So that's a favorable road schedule as well, too. So we'll see what the Kings do in the next 36 hours, Andrew. But I like them tonight, and I'll lay the $1.40 with them.
Let's cash some tickets, Carm. A little bit of Q&A action. Any questions in the chat that we're seeing from people? Mostly people just having some good conversations, but
Andrew,
not too many questions we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I think Riley was looking for a player prop to add to one that he likes. And you win 3 out of 4 yesterday with player props. So how about you give us some more, and Riley can grab 1 or 2 of them and add it to the one that he already likes and come up with a ticket.
Yeah, yesterday 3 out of 4 was exciting to go 3 out of 4 there, and we didn't get the Bo Horvat point. That was the only one that hurt us, and it was an over I liked in the Islanders game. But Carm, when it came to the over, it was just one team doing all the scoring. I'll tell you what, though, Matthew Schaefer shots on goal over 2.5. That was plus 115. So anybody that cashed that, we were able to make some money. Today, guys, I'm just coming at you with goal scoring props. I will tweet out the graphic, but it's not ready for today for right now. Braden Point plus 175. That's Braden Point plus 175 from the Tampa Bay Lightning. The next one up, this is a juicy one here, guys. Cole Perfetti plus 285. Cole Perfetti plus 285. Remember, guys, you guys can take these goal scorers, take the points or shots with them as well. But we are rocking and rolling with those 2 guys. One other game I like some goal scoring props in. We'll give you guys from the Boston Bruins. We've got 2 here. Morgan Geekie. This guy has been unbelievable. I don't understand, Carm, how his number is still plus 170. Plus 170, Morgan Geekie. Especially on the road, this guy's been very, very good for them. And Victor Arvidsson, plus 270 for the Boston Bruins. Actually playing his former team, the Nashville Predators, plus 270. And there was one other one I wanted to mention here. This is a guy from the Buffalo Sabres we have to look out for right now. Josh Doan, plus 310. And I told you guys I like the Pittsburgh Penguins. So if you like the Penguins, you can sprinkle a little bit on Anthony Mantha, plus 295. That's Anthony Mantha, plus 295. You got Josh Doan, plus 310, plus 170 for Morgan Geekie. And my favorite of the night, Braden Point, plus 175, and Cole Perfetti, a little bit of a sprinkle on him at plus 285. The goal scoring bets are what I like right now. They're all plus money. They're all great prices. And again, you don't have to hit at an absurd percentage to make money with these goal scoring props because you're getting such fantastic prices. So, Carm, think about this. Morgan Geekie having a fantastic year like he is, and he is still plus 170 to get a goal. Think about it a few years ago. Austin Matthews was like minus 130 in some spots. And a lot of this stuff is about the name of a player, about the name of the player, not as much about the stats that are backing him up. And I still think that Morgan Geekie is underrated a little bit.
Underrated or overrated, did you say? Sorry, I was just
I think he's still not getting the credit from the books because his number is plus 170. To me, it should be lower than that.
Yeah, it's Andrew, everything is whether it's respect. I think I don't think with the books, I don't think it's respect. I think it's algorithms and what they're going to play. It's kind of like the Sergachev shots on goal over 1.5. It hits for a while, and they see that people continue to bet it, and they make it 185, 195, and they're fine with you winning a bet if you're willing to lay $1.95. So books never lose. They don't. It's up to us to try and find plays that will win, but I don't know where to go with like the underrated, overrated things in the NHL nowadays, just because you grab a player on one team who doesn't seem to perform, and then you move him to another team, and all of a sudden the guy looks like a superstar and stuff. It's just it's kind of like the argument of Jack Eichel with the Buffalo Sabres, a great player on the Sabres, but not surrounded by much. And who won that trade? He went for Alex Tuck, and I think it was Krebs. He goes to Vegas is surrounded by a core of very good players, and they win a cup. So in Jack Eichel's eyes, he won the deal, and Vegas won the deal. The Sabres get Tuck. He's playing well right now. We'll see whether he re-signs with the Sabres or not. It'll always be that Vegas won that deal, but Vegas was dealing from a position of strength. They knew that Sabres had to move Eichel. He wasn't going to play there anymore and stuff.
Right.
So you see
Speaking
that
of
all
the
the time.
Buffalo Sabres, Carm,
Mitch
who
Marner.
else wants to play there?
I don't know. I don't agree with Prez sometimes on arguments, but it's funny. But we shall see what happens. But man,
what do you think about this?
What's that? He'll waive. Why would
Patrick Maroon says, "I don't think he'll waive his no move clause." Why would he?
Just call him Patrick Buffoon, anyways. But whatever. I'll take Maroon on right now. Andrew, speaking of Buffalo, for you Bills fans out there, you Bills Mafia fans, just coming across my desk is the fact that DJ Moore will be signing. There's a deal going on. He's coming to the Buffalo Bills. So yeah, always great to have a player like that can help our offense. So Andrew, there you go. Just a little mix in there. With that said, man, let's get to the pod play. I am disappointed about the Seattle Kraken last night, Andrew, with the pod play. So today's pod, Andrew, put it up on the screen for me. I am going with the Tampa Bay Lightning in regulation. I disagree with the Prez on this one. He thinks Winnipeg's a live dog. I think Tampa Bay is going to snap out of this 3-game losing streak. They lost to the Sabres. They lost to Carolina. Two very good teams, and then they go to Minnesota, and Minnesota's playing extremely well as well right now, third in the Western Conference. So 3 very good teams. They're now playing a non-playoff team in Winnipeg, and yes, it'll likely be Vasilevsky in goal against Hellebuck. So as far as the goaltending, you would think it should be a wash. Hellebuck was great in the Olympics, but he was having a so-so season this year. Give me the better team here. Tampa Bay in regulation, -115. That is your pod play.
Tampa, -115. Hey, you said it. Very hard for a team like that to lose that many games in a row. And despite, I know that people don't like the money puck this and the advanced metrics that, but they played well last game, Carm. They did respond. But guess who they played? A very good Minnesota team. So it's very similar to what we said about the LA Kings. Look, they fire their coach. They play well. They played a good Colorado team. Martin St. Louis, who I listened to all of his press conferences for the Habs, Carm, he says sometimes he thinks, hey, my team played better in this loss than we did yesterday in the win we had. So I think despite them losing, Tampa Bay still looked pretty good. So Tampa Bay, the POD for Carmen. Let's bring that back up on the screen here for a second. 7735 current bankroll. Carm is making you guys money, proving the bankroll management. That is the way to do it. And Carm,
I'm going to hit 10K. I'm going to hit 10K before the season is over. I am determined to do so, Andrew. I think it's important that we get to that number. And I've written down, because I asked people before to comment on the video after it's uploaded, about putting in some prices, some charities in the U.S. that we can donate to, because I already did the food bank here in Richmond Hill, which is the city in which I'm in. It's one of the three suburbs up here: Thornhill, Markham, and Richmond Hill. And listen, as my wife was talking about at dinner with some friends the other night, you never realize until she came with me that day, a truck filled with bags and bags of groceries. And we got there just before they opened up to the public, and there was a lineup around the building and down the street for people at the food bank. That just shows you how terrible the economies are. Yeah. And the cost of living is. So to do something good for my little part and it's part of the show. So it's great. And I'm going to do the same for some of the U.S. charities. So it's only a little part, but
it's all we can do, Carm. I'll tell you, I'm going to give a shout out to my mom. Always got to respect your parents. And for, I think, 35 years, my mom has been working or volunteering her time at the same spot. It's called Sunday Suppers. Everybody can show up. They get a nice warm meal. They get some treats. They get a toothbrush. They get clothing. They get anything that they need on the go. Anytime I was younger and we were on a family vacation, we were away for a weekend, wherever we were, Carm, she says, I have to be home on Sunday at 4 o'clock. The devotion she had, and I'll go with her and help out with this. And you just realize that anything you do can help it out. And to be honest with you, it helps put things in perspective for us. Gratitude is a very good thing to practice. And when you are talking to people that need a helping hand, you can, anything that you can do can help out. So Carm is building that bankroll for them. People were asking for the graphic here, Carm. This isn't the one I was planning on having, but here's this one for you guys out there. So these are the picks. These are the plus money sides, props I like here. Love the prices on these. Let's try and cash a few of these tickets. That will be it for me here, Carm. Once again, we've got this great deal. Buy 3, get 3, 6 days, 69. If you're looking for a hockey bet, I got a 5% play. Carm's got action up. Anything else you want to mention, Carm?
No, I wish you the best of luck with your 5% play tonight. Also, Don and Buster, I always want you guys to win because we're not competing against each other. We're actually, it's to my advantage that you guys both win because then customers are happy. And that's all we really want at the end of the day. Whether I finish first in NHL at WagerTalk or I finish 6th in NHL at WagerTalk, if I've won units for my clients at the end of the season, then I'm happy. And then I know that there's some people in front of me that also won for their clients. This is all you can ask for. You compete with yourself each and every day. You're not competing against other people. I think that's the mistake people make in life in general, Andrew. And I'm not trying to turn this into a wellness and things show, but worry about yourselves and let the rest fall in place, guys. Hit that like button. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. Join the ever-growing community here at WagerTalk. I think we're near that 250,000 subscribers, and it's growing each and every day. We appreciate you guys always tuning in. The Prez will be back tomorrow. We'll see if his goggle eyes are any better, or that ski face of his. But he'll be on, and we will have the 6 and 60, where we try and go 6-0 for the first time this season. The damn Pittsburgh Penguins ruined it last week, 5-1, but we will get one before the season stops. For myself, Andrew McInnis, and the Prez, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time.